We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE, welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what this channel does to my sleep schedule. We're going to have a nice early Flat Earth debate tonight. We're talking with someone in Australia, which is why the time is what it is. Just quickly before we start, I want to remind you that November the 15th and 16th, I will be in Tennessee, Nashville, for DebateCon 6. I will be debating Andrew Wilson and Rachel Wilson and probably a bunch of other people there. If you feel like coming and meeting me, the tickets are available at the moment on Modern Day Debate's website, and you can get early bird tickets that are cheap at the moment before they are officially launched. So let me introduce our guest today. We have with us John Stickland. Hello, John. How are you?
Good, thanks, Craig. And it's Stickland. It's not
Stickland. Sorry,
Stickland
yeah.
without the R.
I've got a very good friend called Strickland. So in my head, it's just that word will probably come out quite a lot because I'm so used to saying Strickland.
It's a very common mistake, believe me.
So why don't you just take a minute, introduce yourself, let people know when you became a flat earther and why that happened, and then you can give us some of your evidence of the Earth being flat.
Okay. Why I'm a flat earther? I came into the flat Earth thing probably about 2016, 2017. I went to a trip to Israel in 2016, and we flew over India in the middle of the night, and I was actually started off in an aisle seat, and that I changed my seating during the flight, and I was sitting on a window seat, and according to the spinning globe, a spinning globe has to make a circle for 24 hours. To do that for 24,000 miles circumference. I'm speaking in miles per hour because this is where most of it's worked out. So the Earth has to be spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, right? And this plane was going across India in the middle of the night. I could plainly see the cities, and they were completely still. The plane was going probably between 800 and 850 miles an hour. And it was a beautiful, clear night. I could see clearly that the cities of India, which is over the equator approximately, were completely still. And I thought, it didn't occur to me at the time what I'd seen. It was actually later on that it occurred to me that those cities weren't moving at 1,000 miles an hour and rotating and catching up to the plane, because that's what it has to do to make a day in 24 hours. That's the calculation. And I started looking into it, and all the reformers, because I'm a Christian, I've even been to a Bible college, And the reformers, Martin Luther and John Calvin, they quote the scripture from Joshua, and the sun stood still in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the Israelites conquered their foes because of the sun standing still in the sky, which is completely impossible with a distant sun, because it's sort of it has to be the Earth that moves. You see,
I always find it funny how
the sun and the moon.
Yeah, I do always find it funny how no other civilizations reported that at the same time. You would think if the sun stood still, everyone would have noticed, but no one else in the world have reported the sun staying still. So yeah, that I always find that a bit strange, but yeah, cool. So
yeah. So, and then I started looking into the Bible, because the whole thing about it, what I see as the biggest problem with the spinning globe is hydrology, is the water flow. Is that you've got water, and it's not magnetic, and you're saying gravity is magnetic, like to hold Gravity's the water on, because it has to be, because centrifugal force. Like this is another one that got me, is you look at you do a spin cycle when you put washing in the washing machine, and the centrifugal force forces the water off the clothes.
Yeah, John, do you know what the centrifugal force... do you know what the centrifugal force at the equator is, if you do the calculations? Well, the centrifugal acceleration, do you know what it is?
I've got no idea.
Well, if you do the maths, the centrifugal acceleration at the equator is 0.03 meters per second squared, which is not much at all when you consider the acceleration due to gravity the other way is 9.81 meters per second squared, which means at the equator there's an overall downward acceleration of 9.71 because 9.78, sorry, because 9.81 minus 0.03 is 9.78. So there's still a downward acceleration at the equator due to gravity. You said that the gravity's magnetic. No, it's not. It's mass attracting mass. There's no magnetism involved. I don't know where you would have got that from.
So how does it hold it onto the Earth?
By the virtue of mass attracting mass. So Newton's universal law of gravity is Fg equals gm1 m2 over r squared, which means that the product of two or more masses, you get a force that is the proportional to the product of two or more masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. And this is proven through many experimentations that mass does attract mass. Okay. And the Earth has such a massive mass compared to the water. You have to imagine each individual molecule of water is being attracted towards the Earth with an acceleration of 9.81 meters per second squared. There's no magnetism involved. There's no magic. It's simply gravity, which has been proven.
Yeah, well, the cosmological, biblical cosmology talks about the formation of the firmament, that the Earth was formed from the division of water by the firmament over the top.
Yeah, the word firmament, I don't know if you've actually studied the original text, the original scriptures, but the word firmament doesn't mean dome. In the original Hebrew, the word rakia, which is firmament, actually means expanse, not dome. Expanse could mean a void of space. There is no mention of a dome in the Bible. If you actually look at the original scriptures, only in translations such as the new versions of the Bible, like the ones written for the kings and that, they say dome and stuff. But in the original scriptures of the Bible, there's never a dome mentioned. The word rakia literally translates to expanse.
The thing is, it's all been modernized, hasn't it?
But if you want to go to the Bible, you have to look at the original text, don't you?
Because it is the most accurate translation.
Well, no, actually, it's not. Let me just stop, John, 1 second.
How God started it. He started with water.
But let me just tell you about the King John's. Yeah, the King John translation is not the most accurate. In fact, it's one of the least accurate translations of the Bible. It was literally translated to make the king more important than God. The
that's
king.
not correct.
It is very true. And if you actually look at the translations, the King John Bible has
Textus
so
Receptus is the most
many
accurate.
differences compared to the original text. The King John Bible is one of the
Let's
most inaccurate
let's go back
translations.
to this thing about water.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. So
The thing is, how do you explain there's water on the earth? How do you explain
gravity.
No.
You can't just say
was
no.
always
Gravity
there. Water
is
was the first component of
well,
creation.
no, okay. I don't care about the Bible.
God started with water.
Yeah, but I don't believe in God, so that's irrelevant.
Space is a flat surface.
Right, that's irrelevant because
H2O.
I don't believe in God. I don't believe what the Bible says. The Bible is just a plagiarism of previous religions and stuff. So I can guarantee you, John,
No, it's not.
without any disrespect meant, I can guarantee you that I have read and studied the Bible for much more than you have. I know about the original translations. I know about the meanings behind it. I know about the history behind it.
I know about the original translations as well. I've studied it as well.
You said that it said dome when it doesn't. It says expanse. So I mean, and then you said the King John Bible was the most accurate.
The thing about it is the water.
But water is matter, right?
Land wasn't formed. No, Craig, land was not formed until day 3.
Well, that's incorrect.
It was just water.
The water and the land all formed at the same time. Right. So here's the thing: when the Earth was formed, it wasn't God or magic; it was gravity that formed the Earth. All of the stuff that is on Earth now, well, it did. Gravity formed the Earth. This is what science says.
H2O.
No. That's not how.
The first element.
Again, no. That is not what science says. That's what the Bible says, and the Bible is not science. If we actually look at how the Earth was formed. Hold on, John.
Okay,
if we look at how the Earth was formed, which we
nothing?
know how the Earth was formed by looking at, what is in the Earth, everything that is on the Earth now was part of it as it was formed, came from meteors and stuff, coming into the gravitational well that formed the Earth. So the Earth was formed with the water on it.
Your God is gravity.
No, I don't have a God.
Your God is gravity.
I don't have a God. Gravity is just a fact of life that's been proven.
Gravity is a concept.
No, it's a proof.
The history of gravity was that Newton translated the Kabbalah into English, and there was a thing in the Kabbalah called the law of attraction.
No, that's just not true. None of that's true.
And he used that to formulate this law of gravity. It was a philosophical concept. It's not a scientific concept.
Everything you've just said, John, is completely and utterly wrong. Newton came up with the universal law of gravitation simply through his observations. Gravity is not a concept. It is a fact that is proven through experimentation.
Why Einstein
wait, hold on.
Wanted to get hold on. Let me finish. Translated the Kabbalah.
No, he didn't translate. It was nothing to do with the Kabbalah. I don't know who told you that, but it's completely wrong. You need to look at the Principia Mathematica to see what Newton actually did. He came up with the universal law of gravity by observing that things seem to go towards each other, planets, masses. And then Cavendish performed an experiment showing that mass attracts mass. Right? We know that for a fact. There has been countless experiments to show that mass attracts mass. Water is mass. The Earth is mass. The Earth has bigger mass.
Okay,
then therefore the water is attracted to the Earth. Sorry?
Where does the water come from, Craig?
The water came from meteors and stuff that would have been hitting the Earth as it formed.
No.
Water is an element that exists. Water is a molecule. Hold on, John. You asked me a question. Let me answer. Water is a molecule. Hold on. Let me answer. Water is a molecule that exists in the universe. Okay. Meteors are made of ice. Comets, ice. There's lots of ice. So when the Earth was being formed,
please let
me finish what I'm saying. Right. As the Earth was forming, meteors and comets that had ice water on them also hit Earth, which is where the water came from. It came from the solar system that formed the Earth due to gravity. So the Earth being the water being there.
There's no way that you could have the volume.
The water being there is expected. What do you mean it would be too hot? It would have been steam.
It would dissipate.
To where?
It would dissipate in space.
Well, no, it's ice.
Because
it's big blocks of ice in space.
Because of the friction on the the space or whatever.
There's no
I
friction in
personally
space.
don't believe in such things as meteorites, is what you
John,
believe.
John, there's no friction in space.
System, right?
We don't. There's no dome.
System.
Right, John. Hold on, John. Hold on,
meteorites-
dude. Hold on.
Okay.
Right. Let's just stop this dome nonsense. I checked for a dome. I looked for a dome using radar, and it wasn't there. I have pointed lasers at the moon and got a response back. There's no dome there. We have flown high up. We have sent balloons up. We have sent rockets up.
You've never been to the moon.
Well, we have been to, I've
we've never
actually,
been to the moon.
that's another argument. I have proven we've been to the moon. I actually 100% proved that, and that's not even debatable at this point, right? But we've been out. There is no dome. There is zero evidence of a dome. There's never been a dome seen. Every exploration and every bit of technology that can look around shows there is no dome.
500,000 miles an hour. Explain this one to me. If you're being towed along by the sun, the Earth's got to make a 365-day circuit around the sun.
Yep.
So it's travelling 66,000 miles. How does it generate that speed out of nowhere?
It's not out of nowhere. It's not out of nowhere.
How does the sun generate 500,000 miles
it's
an
not
hour?
out of nowhere.
450,000 miles an hour.
Right. It's not out of nowhere. Okay.
The thing is, you're saying,
John, do you want me to answer the question?
John,
John, stop. You ask me a question. You need to give me a chance to answer. Okay. Right. So,
what?
If you ask a question, you need to give me a chance to answer before you continue talking. Okay. So, the sun is in the Earth is in the sun's gravity well. Okay, there's a barycenter of all the mass in the solar system. The Earth orbits around the sun. The sun orbits around.
It doesn't do that.
John, I've asked you to not interrupt me. John, let me finish what I'm saying before you interrupt, please. I believe you're old enough to have some impulse control, so could you please practice it?
Okay, no worries.
Thank you. So the Earth orbits the sun, something else I've proven, right? And it's in the sun's gravity well. The entire solar system, which is its own gravity well, travels around the center of the galaxy. That is how it works. It's not the Earth individual. It's not the sun individual. And where did that speed come from? Very simple. As these things formed, centrifugal forces, the very same as if an ice skater pulls their arms in, makes it spin faster. As the solar system was formed, as the Earth was formed, as the galaxy was formed, all the mass pulls in, which makes it spin faster. That is called the conservation of angular momentum. Now, in space, there is no friction. There's none. There is nothing there to cause friction. So once these things are moving, unless there is a force applied, they will keep moving forever. Okay?
You've got a problem. There's a problem with that. Because you're saying that the universe is expanding because centrifugal force is expanding out. Centripetal force is pulling force in.
Yeah, that's gravity. Gravity is what pulls things in. That's the
so
centripetal
you'd say
force.
A black hole, and you'd say the Big Bang, right? It's going out.
No, I personally am
so
not a proponent of. John,
so
hold
how
on.
does that work?
John, hold on. John, hold on. I personally am not
John,
I personally am not a proponent of the Big Bang. I hold other theories. We don't know how the universe started. That is the fact. We can see the beginning. We can see back in time as to when it was a singularity. But I don't personally think the Big Bang was what happened. I have other theories. But centripetal force is gravity, which is what is pulling things in, right? And as the things are pulled in and they're spinning, they get faster and faster and faster. That's what is happening. Gravity is a centripetal force. The spinning creates the centrifugal force going out the other way. Gravity is stronger than the centrifugal force, which means that things are pulled in, and once they get a balance of forces, i.e. the speed around a center is fast enough that it doesn't fall in or go out, a stable orbit is formed. And this all falls within the gravitational calculations of Newton and Einstein, okay? The fact is, John, gravity is a fact that is proven.
Einstein are fakes. Go on.
No, you can't just say they're fakes. What they have said has been proven countless times. I myself have measured gravity using the Cavendish experiment. I know for a fact that mass attracts mass. That's not debatable. I was a submariner in the Royal Navy. I used a system called gravity gradient navigation, which literally uses the gravitational field of Earth and the variations in it to navigate underwater to stop it hitting underwater mountains. It does this by a series of accelerometers around the submarine that are able to detect masses and show you where that mass is. We compare this to gravitational maps taken from space and don't go into underwater mountains. The fact that gravity is used shows that it is in fact a real thing.
The problem with it, you've got the Bible puts it this way: you've got celestial bodies.
Don't care about the Bible.
And you
really don't care about the Bible.
Bodies, right?
Let's just talk about
the
science.
Earth is a terrestrial body. It is the base of the cosmos, right? The moon, the sun, and the stars, and you call them the planets, but they're not. They're astral bodies. They're celestial bodies.
We can see their planets. I've looked at them in telescopes.
Float, right?
No, it's in space. It's not floating. It's just in space. There's nowhere to go.
Objects seek, right? They are celestial. So in other words, they're not solid. That's why
they are solid. We've checked that they're solid. We've sent things there. We can bounce radar off them. We can bounce lasers off of them. We know they are solid. John, here's the thing. You are basing everything you are saying.
No, they're not.
Well, they are. I've checked. Right? You are saying, John.
They're orbs.
No,
light.
John, they're not orbs of light because you wouldn't be able to bounce laser off of orbs of light. We used radar to check the distance to Venus, to check the distance to Mercury, to check the distance to the sun. If they were orbs of light, we couldn't bounce radar off of them. You do realize that, right? Light does not reflect radar.
They're inside of the firmament.
Well, no, it's the firmament 93 million miles away.
That's why you can't go to the moon.
Is the firmament 93 million miles wide? It can't be. No, we have checked the distance to the sun with radar, and it shows it's about 93 million miles away. I personally bounced a laser off of the moon, well, off the retroreflectors left on the moon, which is 250,000 miles away. John, we went through this. There is no firmament. We have checked to see if there is a firmament. If there was a firmament, we would be able to see it.
Speak on a phone in 1969.
Oh, John, for fuck's sake! Do you really think that he just used a phone? Do you really think he just used a phone? John, stop. John, stop. Right. Do you really think he just used a phone?
Have you seen a funny thing happen on the
John,
way to the
yes,
moon?
I have. It's been debunked.
John,
I'm asking you a question. Can you answer my question? John, stop. John, stop. John, do you think Nixon just used a phone? Yes or no?
He never talked to them in a practical sense.
Right, okay, let's in the paradigm, John, stop, John, fuck's sake. In the paradigm of people being on the moon and the president talking to them, do you think he just used a phone?
They were in low Earth orbit. That's all.
John, listen to the question. In the paradigm of people being on the moon and the president being on Earth, do you think there was just a phone used, or was there something else?
They never talk.
John, listen to what I'm saying. For 1 second, assume the moon landings happened, and there were people on the moon, and the president is on Earth. Do you think the president just used a phone, or did he use something else?
Well, he had a phone in his hand.
Yes, and what do you think that phone did? What do you think that phone did? What do you think that phone did, John? Do you think that phone was just connected to landlines? No, that phone was connected to radio, which was transferred to Perth, Australia, and then transmitted to the moon via radio. It wasn't him just picking up a phone and dialing the moon. He was literally connected to a radio. That handset can connect to anything. By you saying he picked up the phone and called the moon shows you haven't a clue what actually went on. If you want,
but they never went to the moon.
Well, they did go to the moon. I've proven that, John. I've proven they've been to the moon. I have proven they've been to the moon, right? And if you want a debunk of that stupid documentary, just go to Dave McKeegan's channel, and he's debunked the entire "a funny thing happened on the way to the moon." It's just full of lies. I have proven they went to the moon, and here's how I proved it. Okay, You have the moon buggy.
Well, none of the photos,
John,
they're all photoshopped.
John, I'm talking. Photoshop didn't exist, so
Yes,
shush.
you're talking all the time, Craig. Go on.
Yeah. If you want to hear an explanation, then you need to let me finish the explanation. The problem is that you are ignorant of everything, and I am having to explain it to you, right?
Oh, you've got all the brains, Craig. I'll give you the credit. Go on.
Right. So when they were using the moon buggy on the moon, there's a particular video called the Grand Prix.
Fake.
Okay.
Fake.
Yeah, everything I don't like is fake. I understand that. That's your bedtime book, right?
It was a Hollywood studio.
John, let me explain to you how it's not a Hollywood studio. John,
John,
I will mute you if you don't. John, if you keep interrupting me, I'm going to mute you. John, if you keep interrupting me, I'm going to have to mute you and treat you like a child because you seem to have impulse control issues. Okay? Now, the Grand Prix video of the moon buggy going backwards and forwards. I have analysed the regolith being kicked up from the back of the wheels. I have done physics, and I have followed the trajectory of those bits of moon dust and bits of moon rock. And I came up with two conclusions, which are undeniable. Conclusion one, there was 0 atmosphere where that was recorded because there is no resistance. It is a perfect parabolic trajectory with 0 disturbance. Conclusion two, every single bit of dust that was analysed follows the path of acceleration with gravity 1/5 that of Earth. Okay? Now, if it was fake, like you've just claimed, they would have had to have done two things. One, remove all of the air from the studio, and two, change the gravity in the studio. Those things are impossible. Therefore, the moon landing was real.
No, the moon landing was not real. The lighting, they've proven it with the shadows of the lighting.
No, they haven't proven it. Actually, NVIDIA used their new technology of ray tracing to simulate the rays of light on the moon, showing where each bit would be. And actually, the simulation of how light travels shows that every single... I was in the middle of a sentence. John, I'm so sorry that the middle of my sentence interrupted the beginning of yours. So sorry about that. I do apologise.
You haven't stopped talking, mate.
That's because you ask me questions and I have to answer them. If you ask me a question, you need to let me answer them and then you can say something else. Okay? So, when NVIDIA did the testing, they showed that every single ray of light matches exactly what we would expect if they were on the moon with the sun as a light source. There's nowhere ever that the shadows have shown anything else. Only ignorance of how shadows work and the fact that the ground is uneven. John, I've proven the moon landings. This is undeniable. Okay? Now, back to gravity. What is your problem with gravity?
You're living in a dream world, Craig, because they
I don't need to live in a dream world. I have proven it.
Buddy.
I have proven it. I did science. I proved it.
It's a celestial body.
No, it's not. How did I bounce a laser off a celestial body?
It's made of plasma. The moon is made of plasma. Because you can
John,
see
how does plasma have craters? John, how does plasma have craters?
It ripples. What about
John, how does plasma have craters?
If the moon was where you say it would be, it'd be solid all the time, but it's not.
It is solid all the time.
It has phases. The moon has phases.
Yeah. Of course, it has phases, but because that is how much we can see of it. That is when the sun and the moon are at particular positions compared to Earth. If the sun is an angle, do you want me to show you? I can literally bring up the the simulation of it to show you, John. Right, the moon phases.
Not rotating either.
John,
There's only one side of the moon.
John, the moon phases are caused by the relative position of the Earth, Moon, and Sun.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Doesn't work here. Doesn't work here. That's exactly how they are. And why do we only see one face? Well, that's very simple. The moon rotates around its own axis once every 28 days, which is the same amount of time it takes to orbit around the Earth. We see one side because of something called tidal locking, which over 80% of the moons in our solar system also have. Okay? All you're doing, John, is you're going, nuh-uh, I don't believe it. You've given no evidence for your claims.
That can't float because it's a solid body. It's a terrestrial body, right? Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
You've got a solid body. You've got a moon. You say the moon's solid. The sun is not solid, isn't it? It's gas, right?
It's plasma. It's
So
not
they'd
gas.
be
No.
dropping they would drop out of orbit from the.
Why
from
would
the
they
sun
drop out of orbit? Where
if they were
to?
if they were solid?
Why
And
would they
don't
drop
do
out of
that.
orbit? Why would they
Because
drop
the
out
Earth
of
is a
orbit?
terrestrial body.
Yeah, the
The Earth is a
moon is.
terrestrial body.
Here's the thing: the moon is
It's the
falling
base
towards.
it's the
John,
base of the cosmos.
John, the moon is falling towards the Earth, but it's also going fast enough that it misses us and goes around. That's what an orbit is.
It hasn't changed, and it won't because
Oh, actually, it does. It has changed. The
it's a
moon,
celestial
the moon
body.
actually moves away from us about an
The
inch
moon is
every
a
year.
celestial body. It'll never crash into the Earth. It'll never.
No, it
Never.
won't. You're right. No, it's actually moving away
It's a
from the Earth.
celestial body, Craig.
Yes, it's the moon. It is a solid rock
So
that
are
people
the
have landed
stars.
on.
They are celestial bodies, and the sun and the moon are bigger than the stars. They are
Right,
bigger
John,
than
have you
the
got any
stars.
evidence for anything of this? You're just saying things. Give me evidence.
The Bible says that
The Bible's not evidence. The Bible is a book written by sheep herders 5,000 years ago that has never left the Middle East. They
No,
didn't
it's
know
written by
anything.
God.
No, it
Now,
wasn't.
Listen to what I'm saying.
No,
now.
hold on.
Moses went
No,
up on
stop.
Mount
John,
Sinai.
stop. John, stop. John, stop. No, the Bible was not
Listen to what I'm
written by...
saying.
John, stop. The Bible was not written by God. That is an absolute falsity. Even Christians don't think the
Moses
Bible was
went up
written by
onto
God.
Mount Sinai
The
and spent
Bible...
40 days
John, shut up.
with God.
Shut up. The Bible was written by sheep herders that existed 5,000 years ago and knew nothing about the world around them
That's
because
a
they
lie
existed.
from the pit of hell.
No, it's
Craig,
not.
you're lying. You're
John,
talking
God
foolish
did not
talk.
write the Bible. Men wrote the Bible. Even other Christians agree with this. It was literally written by sheep herders 5,000 years ago by people that had never left the Middle East and knew nothing about the shape of the earth.
Believe that.
Well, no, every single Christian I've ever
Moses
spoken
went
to
up
agrees
on
with them.
Mount Sinai, and they even know it's El Jarab and it's in Saudi Arabia.
Right, okay,
They
so
found
let's
and
leave
the
magic
mountain has-
out of this. Right, John, let's leave magic out of this. We don't need to talk
No,
about the Bible because the
because
Bible is
the
not
Ten
real.
Commandments, the Ten Commandments
Who
came
cares about the
from
Ten Commandments? The Ten Commandments are rubbish. All
that.
right?
Ten Commandments. You shall
The
have
Ten
no other
Commandments
God
were
before me.
stolen from
You shall
previous
love your
religions.
neighbour as yourself. All the
John.
Ten Commandments.
John, you do know
They
the Ten
came
Commandments.
from him talking to God on Mount Sinai.
John.
And he writ that in stone. He wrote
John,
that in
you do
stone.
know-
The finger
John.
of God.
Oh,
wrote it in
stop!
stone,
John, shut
Craig.
up! You do know that God didn't write the
Finger
Bible.
of God.
John!
The same finger
John.
of God that
All right, I'm
created the
muting you.
heavens and the earth.
All right, I'm going to mute you. If you can't control yourself, I'm going to have to mute you. This isn't a sermon for you to preach your...
We'll just finish the debate because you're not going to listen to what I'm saying. So
I'm waiting for you to give
We'll
evidence.
just leave
All
it.
you've done is you've said the Bible. Right, let's be very clear. The Bible is evidence of
true.
nothing.
The Magna Carta was based on the Ten Commandments. Western society
John.
is based on the Bible, buddy.
No, it's not. John,
Our free society
John,
is based
will
on
you
the
stop?
Bible.
John, the Bible is not evidence of the shape of the world. I have given you evidence
it is.
in science,
Because
right?
the Hebrews had the books, didn't
John.
they? Coming down from Abraham.
All right, you're muted because you're not actually listening to anything that's being said. Science, John. I want evidence and science. Yeah. Rage quit. There we go. That's what Flat Earth is. A cult. Nothing more. Just a fucking cult. Right, it's just gonna... There's literally no point debating somebody that just says, nuh-uh. Right, there's no point. Nuh-uh is all he's got. That's all he's going to say. The Bible. The sun stood still. Oh, we've never been to the moon. It's plasma. Well, what about all this evidence against that? I don't care because the Bible says. The Bible is just plagiarism. The Bible was stolen. Every single bit of it was written before in previous religions. He told me he'd come here and debate me about the flat earth, but he tried to give a sermon instead, preaching about God making the world. Like, that's evidence of the shape of the earth. 99.9% of Christians don't say the earth is flat. Nothing that he said about Christians was what Christians agree with. I don't know what else to say, but there we go. 32-minute rage quit. How's that then? Rubik's? You've got some work to do with there. Oh no, I've had a rage quit in 6 minutes, Rubik's. It's definitely not a record, but I rection you can get a lot of stupid out of that, Rubik's. Yeah, definitely. Mark Zek, who's been a member for 56 months, says, please more normal hour debates. Dave McKeegan for £2 says, John, how do you explain Craig? Answer, John, no. Yeah, there we go. Well, what about this? Well, here's the answer. That's not true. That's about it, guys. Right. Well, half an hour for a rage quit. Flat earthers are just useless. There is no flat earth debate left. All right. It's a fact that the age of the flat earth debate is kind of over. Right? It's an unfortunate fact. Which is why the streams are just me dunking on flat earthers nowadays. There is no flat earthers left that will debate. Because they know they're just going to get destroyed. In fact, flat earthers are now telling other people to not debate. The only flat earther that will debate is Nathan Oakley. And you can only debate Nathan Oakley by going on his channel and having him shout at you and mute you. So that's not going to happen. Alright. I was going to stream later to cover the final debate, but I might do that Tuesday instead. Billy Ray says, dance for us, Craig. Super chat me and I'll dance for you. Right, I dance. I expect super chats for this. There we go, I danced. Where's my super chat, Billy? Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much. It's been a fun short stream. I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to do the review of that tomorrow. Give this stream a little chance to marinate. Thank you very much for watching. I know it's a different time to what you're used to. And thank you very much. Going to finish with a song from Conspiracy Music Studios because I enjoy them very much. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
What I tell the flat earth youth. Talk so fast you can't keep track. If you fact check me, I just change the track. Ad hominem, you're dumb. Sit down, red herring, spin it all back round. Straw man, your claim, twisted for sport. Knock it down quick like it's my last resort. Equivocate my way to glory. Appeal to authority, same old story. Round and round with circular flare, not secular. Hey, look over there. I was divorced while I took the kids, so I dress like I'm 21. Your generation will be dead, they said, but I'm not that old, you know. Grandma's blouse, oh wow, watch me now. Machine, yeah, watch me now. Affirm the consequent, that's my style. Begging the question, man, that's my guile. False equivalence, I mix and match. Reification, giving ideal latch. Begging the question, that's my main hook. Cherry pick the data till the whole thing's cooked. I'm not wrong, I'm just ahead. At least that's what the voices said. Equivocate my way to glory. Appeal to authority, that's my story. Round and round with circular flare, non secular. Hey, look over there. I was divorced, wife took the kids, so I dress like I'm 21. Your generation will be dead. watch me now. Policy machine, yeah, watch me now. That's an at-home straw man cherry picking. False equivalency, you're contradicting. Begging the question, appeal to my source, non sequitur, of course. And therefore the earth is flat. Checkmate! I was divorced, wife took the kids, so I dress like I'm 21. Your generation will be dead, they said. But I'm not that old, you know. Grandma's blouse, oh wow. Watch me now. Policy machine, yeah, watch me now. Yeah. IQ 160 in my mind.
Subscribe to Conspiracy Music Studios or I'm sending Daniel Pratt to your house. Thank you everyone for watching. A lot of fun. Rage quit from an idiot. Australian Flerfs always fucking blow my mind. Where's Polaris, dude? Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.